One of Nigeria's top financial institutions, Skye Bank, hosted a breakfast session with stockbrokers here at the Pretty Hotel, Ikoyi. It was an opportunity for the GMD and CEO of the bank, Mr. Timothy Oguntayo, to share the financial performance of the bank for 2014 and even projecting to 2015, and also the acquisition of Mainstreet Bank, as well as projections for 2015 outlook.
Snapshot of what the results look like for 2014. This is Skye Bank and its foreign subsidiaries. So the group there does not mean Skye plus Mainstreet. It's Skye Bank plus its banking subsidiaries in Sierra Leone, Gambia, and the Guinea. Last year was a very challenging year for us as bankers. A lot of regulations from the central bank, increase in CRR from as low as 15% all the way to 50% for public sector, and then to 75%, and then for public sector all the way to 20%. There was also the levy for AMCON. There were so many regulatory changes that made the environment very challenging for bankers. And of course, the macroeconomic variables also changed, which affected us like it affected several other sectors of the economy. This is Skye Bank and Mainstreet. Earnings per share is 1.81 naira 84 kobo. Return on average asset 1.9%. Return on equity 16.2%. We had promised the market 15% in our previous presentation. So we have succeeded in surpassing that promise. And of course, the cost-to-income ratio, I alluded to it when I was talking about the operating expense, but this is spike for the year 2014, which should not recur as we go on. And as we harvest the economies of scale from the acquisition of Mainstreet, we will see our target is to be somewhere around 65% in the near term.
At the end of the presentation of the GMD, there was a Q&A session that was very interactive, looking at the various market performance, the acquisition of Mainstreet, and also the outlook for 2015.
What are the headwinds that you have identified for the industry, and specifically for Skye Bank going forward? And what are the three big things you want to do to be able to, confront these headwinds?
Headwinds, for instance, government revenue would dwindle. We don't need any scientists to see that. So what that means is that what about our customers whose businesses are dependent on government? What about the civil servants whose salaries may not be as forthcoming as it used to be? By the end of last year, I think a couple of states were in arrears of 2-3 months salary arrears. So those are some of the things that we think will challenge the banking system. But I think with more focus now on IGR, all of us will have to contribute to the shortfall in one way or the other. I mean, Lagos State, if you take Lagos State, for instance, the proportion of IGR to FAC allocation is a lot. The same thing in Rivers State. And if you look at places like Ogun State, it's catching up in the same drive with Lagos State. So we think funding will be a major issue in the industry. The central bank regulation will be another headwind. We don't know how far it will go in terms of devaluation, in terms of CRR, in terms of various policies. There has been a cap on foreign borrowings that banks can have vis-a-vis your shareholders' fund. It's been pegged at 75%. So what that means is that if I see a good deal that I need to fund in dollars, I may not be able to do it. So the headwind, maybe not for Skye Bank specific, but for the whole industry, is that we may end up seeing a situation whereby the foreign bank will be coming to take business from Nigerian banks.
Mr. Timothy Oguntayo, the GMD of Skye Bank, spoke further on the reason for having this breakfast session with stockbrokers and what the bank expects in terms of 2015 performance.
The great lesson here is that if we reach out to the market, they are willing to accept us, and that gives them the opportunity to have access to the genuine information about Skye Bank. What we have seen in this past is people speculating about what is happening in Skye Bank, and I won't blame them because we have not reached out to the market as much as we should reach out to the market. So going forward, we will do more of this. One of the things I've also observed is that the market is receptive to the acquisition of Mainstreet Bank by Skye Bank. They see a lot of values, so that also reinforces our conviction in going to that acquisition. And I think as we go along, the benefit of the acquisition will unfold.
Also, Mr. Ari Olusekun, a stockbroker in the Nigerian capital market, also spoke and gave his remarks about the meeting.
Yeah, I think it's a good step that the bank has taken, inviting brokers and talking to brokers about the current status of the bank and their direction going forward. It has given stockbrokers an opportunity to know how the acquisition was made, how the bank stands to benefit from the acquisition, and by extension, how the benefits of the acquisition, will move, will get to investors. So we're in a better position to advise our clients accordingly. So they will get to understand what is happening in the bank, and they will then have an opportunity to key into the future of the bank and benefit therefrom.
With this strategic session with the stockbrokers in the first quarter of the year, it is expected and it's shown that Skye Bank means business when it has to do with engaging the investors and, of course, the stockbroking community.